May I now request Ms. Eureka Martis, Director, Center of Regional and Local Government, NIPAM, to address the gathering. Thank you, ma'am.
A very good morning to you, our esteemed hosts, colleagues. As mentioned, I am Erika Maritz. I'm the Director for Regional and Local Government. I've been with NIPAM since its inception, which is basically in 2010. We were established under an Act of Parliament, the NIPAM Act, Act 10 of 2010. This is my third visit to India, and each time I am welcomed and I am amazed by the hospitality and the beauty of this country. The first visit to India was in 2006, where we were really benchmarking, and this was prior to the setup and establishment of NIPAM as a management development institute. We learned a lot. We were basically exposed to the different practices of public administration, policy development. We were introduced to how research is basically conducted, particularly at the management development institutes that we were exposed to. In 2002 and in 2012, we paid another visit to the Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute, where we were exposed to the dynamics of the foundation program. And that is something that is very close to our heart, because that is almost a model which we would like to basically take with us, since it is really developing the ethos of service, of the public service. This is now our third visit, and every time we come, I am really getting to learn more about India and how training is really embedded in developing the capacity of people. We went to ASCII yesterday. We learned quite a lot about it, and we're very impressed by the dynamics of how the institutions are basically linking up, particularly in terms of developing policy and also serving as a think tank to government through your research activities and publications. That is something that my executive director has alluded to. We really want to grow in the space of consultancy and research. So a lot of these visits and what we are learning from you is indeed very valuable. I'm also very grateful. Before joining NIPAM, I was responsible for public service reform. I was in a unit that was driving the adoption of the charter for the public services in Africa. So thank you, Dr. Mishra. Your gift to us in terms of the book is going to be really cherished and valued. Once again, thank you so much. Once again, your hospitality, I'm indeed very grateful for you receiving us. Oh, okay, wonderful.
She's head of our public policy.
Thank you. Okay.
She goes to seminars, and she's also publishing a journal on governance and public policy.
Okay. So I think thank you so much. This contact is fantastic, because we would really like, through this MOU, look at ways of collaborating and sharing seminars of common interest.
Okay. Now she's working on a book called Spiritual. And Spiritual wants.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And now they want to take the Indian work to the academy. And they have come on their own and to do that book, so that more people can have access to
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for sharing your experience with the audience. May I now request Mr. Richards Kakuna, Director, Center of State-Owned Enterprise, NIPAM.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremony, for your hospitality here at IPE. I'm from the Center for State-Owned Enterprises at NIPAM, and we are really interested in improving the performance of state-owned enterprises in Namibia in areas of governance, performance, etc. So we are actually looking at all the areas, the angles such as HR, finance, governance for boards, etc. And we will be interested, I think, as we go forward, as we move forward, to learn from how you do these things. Because as you can see, Namibia is just 25 years into its independence. It's actually also a young country. Maybe you observe from the delegation here. It's also a young country. So we are interested. We have a lot that we have to learn from experienced practitioners such as you here in India. So my interest really is to how to tap into your wisdom to improve the performance of enterprises in the country. We hold seminars, we do trainings, and it will be interesting if we can hold hands and see whether one or two of your faculty members can, present a particular seminar, through our center, especially in performance management, governance, etc. So those are areas that I'm interested in, and as the others have said, we will be, we'll keep our ears open so that we learn as much as we can from your wisdom. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your views with audience. May I now request Dr. Michael Zivikua, Director, Center, Government State Government Center, NIPAM.
Good afternoon, everyone. In Africa, we say all protocols observed, just not to leave anyone out. It's good to be here. India has been introduced to me many, many years ago when I went to college in the United States. And I had a pleasant time with my classmates and my friends on college campuses on the soil of the United States. So it's a great pleasure to be here on the continent itself and to be able to experience that personally. And my feet and my whole body feels at home here. And I thank you very much for the welcoming. As Dr. Mishra said, we would like to do the things we like and do things other people like us to do, but only if we agree. That is, I think there will be certain things that we would not take up on if they do not make any sense. If it is a non-researchable topic, for instance, we'll throw it out and say, let's change it around and make it relevant for academia. I run the Center for Public Service at NIPAM, Central Government Business Center, it's called. I've only been there for a couple of weeks. I come from the academic sector. I was a lecturer at the University of Namibia, and then I moved over to Namibia University of Science and Technology. And it's a pleasure to join another academic institution, which is really in its developing stages. It's a pleasure to be part of an institution that is growing and that is finding a good direction. My background is in education. I'm a teacher by training and also a professional trainer of teachers. My dissertation was on professional development of teachers. So I'm trying to figure out what it is that NIPAM can do to contribute to research in that respect, school management, etc., etc., and also do the kinds of things that will augment the management skills and the delivery skills of teachers in that sector. But also, in that category is other things that we can do as well with many, many other people. And I'll want to look at your institution and see whom I can partner with in terms of central government business center activities. We have some short courses, we have some programs that are running as well. Maybe we can sit down and look at our courses and see how we can link up, and also on accreditation issues. I think it will be extremely important for us to be linked with you. We want to look at best practices. How do you deliver in your institution? What sort of methodologies do you use? How do you set up your courses? How do you make them effective? And what sort of skills do your students come out with? I think that's something that we really need to look at. I'm very passionate about pedagogy, about teaching, and also about publications. I hope, and I'm sure that I will be linked up with the right people here at this institution to take my center forward. I thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your experience and views with the audience. May I now request Mr. Dinesh Shindume, Director, Information Center, NIPAM, to address the gathering. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, colleagues. My name is Dinesh Shindume, and I'm responsible for ICT within the institution and outside the institution. My center also houses the e-learning and the library section. What I intend to get out of this benchmarking exercise is basically to India being known for its information technology. Would really like to find out as to internally what systems do you have in place to support the institution, and externally how do you capacitate the public sector or the private sector in this case as to the use of technology. I mean, everything now is technology driven, so India would be a great example for us to see how we can work together in the public sector. With all governments, there's an intention to implement e-governance, and we in Namibia, we're quite far, and would really like to find out as to how is it going in India, and how did you roll it out, so that we can only learn and not make the same mistakes in Namibia, basically. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your views. May I now request Ms. Tuakula Hipping, Member, Training and Development Board, to address the gathering. Thank you, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to you all. Thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to be here. I feel privileged and honored to be here in this prestigious institution in the great nation of India. We know here we can tap from the great minds. As it was said, my name is Tuakula Haipinge. I'm currently an acting Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, responsible for public service management. The Department of Public Service Management is, we can call it the head office HR for the public service. We are responsible for HR policies of more than 100,000 civil servants across the board. We do the HR strategies, we support, we develop capacity in terms of the HR practitioners, etc., etc. Here I'm wearing two hats because I represent government in the NIPAM Training and Development Board to ensure that government NIPAM deliver what government wants. You spoke about your institution being demand driven, and that's what we are looking at in government from the NIPAM side, what we want. I'm pleased to note that you do exactly what you want to hear. I saw the professor that is responsible for human resource management here. We'll probably benefit from having our people, some of our people trained here, so that we set the trends in HR. We are looking forward to transform HR so that Namibia remain a great nation as it ought to be. We currently, my colleagues back at home are doing a business process re-engineering. We are enhancing the use of service charters, reviving them. That book just came in handy. So really, I feel we are lucky to be here so that we really learn. And I'm also pleased to see my fellow women having done very well, achieved a lot. You paved the way for us. We'll go back and really just do a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We are fortunate to have with us Mr. George Smarta, who is Cabinet Secretary of Namibia and Chairperson of Governing Council of NIPAM. May I now request Sir to deliver the gathering. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, I almost made a mistake to say good afternoon, sirs. I forgot that there are women also in the audience. First, I would like to say to Professor Mishra, thank you very much to you and your staff for the warm welcome that we have extended to us. But not only to you alone, but to the entire people of India. I have never known hospitality of this nature. I've been all over the country, all over the world. Let me say that I started working for government in 1989, yes. Is it 89? No. 1989, before independence. And I've traveled all over the world.